Hello, everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world, everywhere there's going to be a clip of this, be it a live version or a, you know, recorded version. Welcome to the Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, The Art of Monty Anderson. Welcome to the show. Yes, it is bright and early. Yes, we are under severe thunderstorm warning right now. Tornado warnings going off since about 1 o'clock this morning. But that's cool. We pull out lawn chairs around these parts just to watch. I do have a storm cellar that came with the house, but I don't use it. I actually offer it up to my neighbors more than I will ever get into it. So, but welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about, oh looky there, Mr. Roy, Joe, Twinkletoes, Sparklebutt, Bradley Jr. has joined the broadcast. He's awake. Is he going to last the whole show? That is what inquiring minds want to know. But welcome to the booth, everybody. All right. So, as you can see, I've already got a censorship on my shirt for TikTok viewing pleasure right there. I did go ahead and write this up, put it across her chest. So, there you go, TikTok. I've already censored my own shirt for you. Not that I should have to. Not that, if I was in a foreign country, I could have all of it displayed. But, there you go. I had to go ahead and put the censorship on there for you so that you wouldn't get upset, TikTok. Jackasses. All right, so right now, what is going on here? I want to change this up. There we go. That's a little better. I like that sound better over here. Yes, yes. All right. So now we're going to talk about the really real stuff. The hard, the heavy, the good stuff. I'm kidding. We are going to talk about the really good stuff, but it's about what I've got happening here. Okay? So, this, one of my horror pieces, my new horror series pieces, has just sold. And it's not even finished yet. So there you go. I'm adding in the heavy pencils in there so I know where I'm going to be inking, all that good stuff. So this one has already sold. So it's not available. Sorry. But the other 4 that I have ready are out of the 5 that I've got so far. We've got Ghostface, Freddy, Pumpkinhead, and Candyman are the ones we have left. Jason Voorhees is off the table. He has been sold. So there you go with that. So, what does that mean for future stuff? Oh, we got a whole slew of things. If Iron Lung was on streaming services right now, I would be looking at that movie just to get more in depth on what the creature actually looks like. Because that was one of the creatures that was suggested I include in my new horror series that I've got going. The very first one, which was technically my second Ghostface to ever do, but this is like a 3/4 body of Ghostface. And the first one I ever did was just the mask. And that was on my 365 days of artwork, which was back in like 2017, 2018, somewhere in that range. So I did a piece of artwork every day for a year. And so I did a Ghostface in there, but I didn't do a full body or a 3/4 body or anything like that. So, so here you go with that right there. Boom, boom, boom. And again, these are just the loose pencils that will be tightened in, like I've already started on his sleeve right there, as you can see. Boom, boom, boom. And from there, the inking process is about to start on several of these. Plus, I have a big 18 by 24 commission that I'm laying in the main characters of right there. Oh, he finally speaks. Welcome, Mr. Roy Joe, Twinkle Toes Sparkle Butt, Bradley Twilight Lover Jr. to the broadcast booth. Everybody, welcome him. Welcome him. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Don't forget to thank you. All right. So, again, we are talking about the really good stuff today. So, which some of the really good stuff, Roy and I have already talked about. How the Oklahoma City Thunder trashed his team and wouldn't even let him score 100 points. That was an ass whooping, is what that was. That was a schooling of epic proportions if I ever saw one. 139 to 96, was it? And they lost one of their star players to a hamstring incident during the game. So, sorry that he went down with a hammy. That's why you stretch before you do all that stuff. Get plenty of water. I have to remind myself that when I go to the gym and I do some jogging on the treadmill. All right, so that is not my list. My list is right. Did I tell anybody to go outside of TikTok to do anything? I've only been on for 7 minutes and I've already got a live visibility restriction. TikTok, you are, and I'm not going to say what I said last time because I got taken off the air. And this time I did not redirect anybody anywhere. I was showing my artwork only. I did not say go buy my artwork outside of TikTok shop. Nowhere did I say go buy my stuff outside of TikTok. Seven minutes into the program, and I'm already pissed off. And we haven't even got to the good stuff yet. This is why I like going live on Instagram or Facebook, because they do not censor you as hard as TikTok does. That's why I have to put this fucking thing on my shirt. It keeps the ink from, or the pencil ink from smudging around on the paper. So it doesn't help you draw, but it just keeps things from being spread across your surface. So, and if I was using my digital tablet, it keeps your skin off of the tablet, because sometimes your hand will draw lines for you instead of just the pen itself. Like this little guy right here. So, which I'm still trying to work out the kinks for. But yes, it does help in the keeping your drawing surface clean, if you will. But good question. Very good question. All right. So everybody knows that I am an illustrator here, or most everybody should know that I'm an illustrator here. One of my pieces of artwork right here. This is my Alice in Wonderland piece with the Mad Hatter behind her, going a little bit on the crazy side. But she did take her shirt off because she didn't want to get the drink on her when she drank the drink. All right. So, let's just show, since I've already got the since I've already got the restriction, and I'm tossing shit everywhere, and I lost my, there it is. I was gonna say I lost my buffer piece. Give me a second. You guys probably can't hear me right now. Oh, there we go. All right. So, this is one of my next ones that I'm going to be coloring in on my Uncanny X-Men #1 variant edition. It doesn't tell me which volume this is for this book, but I could do a quick Google search, which I don't understand why more people don't do a quick Google search on shit whenever they do something. Instead, they ask a community of people. No, this is Emma Frost, the White Queen. She started out as a villain for all of X-Men and was in the Hellfire Club and all that good stuff. But then they were like, no, we like her too much to keep her as a villain, so we will turn her into more of a hero that has a crush on Scott, which comes into, direct conflict with Jean Grey since they're married. And then we all saw this one that is already sold as well. This was a commission right here, and I'm going to take it out of the bag so that the glare doesn't hit it, but you get to see the bright shine of the Jared Leto Joker right here. And you see how I did metallic ink on the gun, correction, the AK, and the jewelry right there. Yes, she definitely has strong powers. And since she can change her body form into diamond, that makes her even stronger. So, again, this was a commission piece from a buddy of mine in the military, and this is what he wanted. Not a lot of people like this Jared Leto Joker, so I have no problems with it because I understand which Earth they took him from to get him into the movie TikTok, the movie Suicide Squad with Jared Leto and Margot Robbie. So I don't get a restriction for that word as well. And this is the thing I do not like about TikTok. And that's why you've got my post if you have not liked, shared, or followed, and then gone to my page and checked things out. I did a whole post on TikTok and their double standards. And I'm not going to go into the whole thing yet again, just because if you want to go see it, I've got most of the video out there. I had to cut it down because it was over an hour long. But it's out there to view. And it talks about their double standards. And all the restrictions that you end up getting, just like I was 7 minutes in and was only talking about artwork. But yet, for them, I was redirecting PayPal, which is not the case. I did not say, go here, go here, go here. And I'm not even going to say it when I get into this section of stuff right here. Sorry about that. Again, we are under severe thunderstorm warning right now. Tornadoes in the area. So don't mind me if I go off the air, okay? But I don't think I'm going to. You can, but I don't want to do that because I'm already 15 minutes in and I'm just going to keep rolling. And, if you guys share the broadcast out, you guys can get more people in that are awake right now for you guys. And I appreciate it, Roy, but they're not going to listen because it's their AI program that they use to listen in on all the lives, since they will not put a moderator in on every live broadcast. Because whenever you have 1 million people, TikTok does not have 1 million people to plug into every live that goes out there right now. Because right now, I'm sure there's probably 200, 300,000 people going live right now, if I had to guess. Because I don't know how many people use TikTok, but most of the world uses TikTok. So, all right. So the really good stuff. Let's get into it. All right. So, as you know, again, Illustrator right here. This is the first time me wearing this shirt, and I have to do this. Okay. Whoops. Better not do that. but I have to do this, and it says censored for TikTok with a sad face over here. All right. So this is the very first comic book cover, professional comic book cover that I got on right here. Psycho Sal #3, William Russell Psycho Sal. It is a 9-issue series, maxi series, if you will, about a serial killer in 1980s New Orleans that is being hunted by two FBI agents, a male and a female FBI agents. So I did an homage to the X-Files with his characters. So instead of Mulder and Scully in here, I've got his two FBI agents in a voodoo shop in New Orleans, hunting down, following the clues that he leaves so that they know it's him. This series has ended. He has since started a couple of other series that he is doing. So if you're interested in any of his stuff, you can go check it out. Way too many covers, in my opinion. Whenever I do my 4-issue miniseries, not doing a maxi series or anything like that, my 4-issue miniseries is going to have, well, I appreciate that. I'm a huge X-Files fan. I even have the big poster right around the corner behind my refrigerator over there. This the I Want to Believe poster, one of the 6 different variants that they used throughout the filming of the seasons, of the 11 seasons that are out there. And so these are out there. The truth is out there. All right. So that's one of my professional comic books out there. Next up is my second professional comic book series for Legacy Comics. Patrick Hickey Jr. You see the painting sitting right there behind me. Bum, 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 with Ozzy back there as well. So right here is my job #3 cover. Again, the painting you can see fully back here, right there. And again, that was Psycho Sal #3. This was the job #3. So at this point in time, I am destined to do #3 as a cover. So if anybody has a comic book out there and wants to have me do the #3 cover, let me know. So, but this is one of the variants that he has. He's got a ton of variants for most of his comic books that he does. And this one is, think, as he described it, think Point Break meets wrestling, because you've got a professional wrestler right here and his wife or girlfriend, I can't remember which one it is, I think it's his wife, that goes around knocking off banks and other financial institutions to get money. That's why there's money flowing around all over the place. They're being chased by the police right here in the car right there, and I'll get a little closer. Bum, bum, bum. And there's a lot of what are they called? The Mexican wrestling mask. I can't remember what it's called. Right there. Okay. That is 2 of my books right there. I would do these in order, but I'm not going to, of how they rolled out. So the next is also for Legacy Comics. This is my 3rd professional cover. So I do not have a ton of professional covers under my belt. Does that make sense? When it comes to comic books. But my comic books are in the world. Okay. I do have artwork that is around the world as well. Okay. Now, this next one I did the entire book for. It is an 8-page comic book with the front cover. So 9 pages from me complete. Technically 10, and I'll show you why here in a moment. It's from Legacy Comics. It is a #1. It does have the variant cover as well. I'm not sure which one he is considering the variant cover and which one he is considering the normal cover. But it is Condrey, Man's Best Friend. And this is one of my covers based off of Frank Miller's work. Bum, bum, bum. And it is signed by Patrick Hickey Jr. right there. And this will be signed by me as well. That is one of the 2 covers. Again, I did all 8 pages of this book. Yes, the Lucha Libre Mexican Wrestling Association. And this one is, based off of a cover that Frank Miller did. That's why it has homage to Frank Miller right there. And it says after Frank Miller down there, which is an homage to. And if you know which cover this is from Sin City, you will know. But that's my 2 covers plus the 8 pages that I did inside of this book, all done by me, sequential artwork. This was my very first sequential artwork book right here. And it was fun. It was fun to do. All the way around. I'm just looking because I always want to look at my work again. All right, so that is my technically three. I'm going to do this 3, like they do in the NFL. 3, third down comic book covers that are under my belt. And next is something completely different when it comes to calamities. I'm going to say it right. Calamities. Sour World's Calamities, a novel by James Bishop. I did the cover artwork, and I'm doing the next book as well as the next 2. And let me change this up. Hold on just a second. It's going to get a little shaky for a minute, maybe. We'll see if that changes up the unstableness since I was off of Wi-Fi. All right, so this is a novel that I did the cover for. Right there. It's got all kinds of different elements in it. You see the metal wings back here. You see the knot and all the vinage going all over the place. And then you see a pirate's hat. It's a little tough to see in the actual piece, but there is a pirate's hat right here. Boom, boom, boom. And all of this sets the tone for his series he's got going on. I'm not sure how many books he's actually going to have. I know we've talked about 4 books so far. So this is, and he did autograph it for me. Actually, he autographed all the copies I've got right here. And I will autograph the front where my artwork is. Now, again, I've got 4 different covers that I'm going to be working up for him, plus my comps that I get in. So that's always cool to get your comps. Just like I did from Patrick Hickey, I got all my comps in from that book series right there. Now, with all of that being said, again, I'm going to have my own book that I'm working on that I'll be doing everything for. I'm writing it. Well, first off, I'm the creator. I'm writing the book. I'm going to be illustrating the book. I'm going to be inking the book. The book interiors are going to be black and white. So that means they could have a touch of grayscale, which means they're still going to be black and white. But I want to do it more like Frank Miller's Sin City style, black and white, hard black and white, and go that route. Just because that's a more economic way to print a book. Yes, the covers will be in full color, and I'm going to have 3 different artists, so there's only going to be 4 covers to the books. So 16 covers total. And then there will be a graphic novel at the end, which ties all the books together in one big format, plus all the extra stuff, meaning all the covers are going to be in the graphic novel, and any character designs that somebody wants to do or work up for me and with me, when it comes to, hey, I want to draw your character, cool. Here's what they are. Here's their powers, all that good stuff. And you got to think mine is going to be cryptids, which is Bigfoots, aliens, chupacabras, those type things. It's got witches, warlocks. It's got, the real world stuff in it, meaning trolls, fairies, any of your folklore stuff is in there. So there's going to be all kinds of cool stuff going on in this book. But I'm not giving the name. I'm not giving a whole lot of the character stuff because right now there's stuff in this office that gives you a little bit of an idea of, oh, excuse me, I've been up for a while. That gives you a little bit of an idea of what is going to be in the book. Um, and I know a lot of it can't be seen just by this one little frame right here, but over here there's more chance on the other recording that you could absolutely see some of the stuff that is going to be in the book and what the book is about. But again, I'm not giving a whole bunch of that stuff away just because I don't want somebody to run away with the idea. And I've seen that happen before many a times in the comic industry specifically. So, don't want to see that happen. All right, so you've seen all of that stuff. That's the really real talk that we're talking about. Is I am starting to get a nice little collection of covers that I'm working on, or books in general. Not to mention my own works, because I think I'm sitting on like 40 pieces of unfinished artwork right now, plus 3 commissions. Uh, one commission is the next painting for this book cover. One is going to be an interesting commission. I'm not even going to talk about it right now. And then the 18 by 24 commission that I've got going on right now as well. And then I've got a ton of unfinished pieces that I'm going to start inking on as well while I'm working on these other commissions at the same time. I've got 3 more big 16 by 20, I believe is what they are. I'm looking down at the canvas. I think it's a 16 by 20. Pieces of artwork that I'm going to be working on. Something new, something different, something exciting. If you've never heard of Patrick Nagel before, go look him up. Phenomenal artist from the 70s and 80s. And I can't remember when he passed away, but phenomenal artist. And his fluidity in painting on canvas, phenomenal. How he could keep the same colors throughout is beyond me. I can paint something and I have 15 different colors from the same tube, and it's like he's always been one of my favorite artists, to hands down. Besides your comic book realm and illustration and fantasy type stuff like Frank Miller, um, Frank Frazetta, Jim Lee, Jolly, not Jolly, but Jaeelee, who we talked about with his Hellshock series for Image Comics. But there's a ton of people that I admire in the industry. And without them, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I wouldn't be making artwork. I would probably still be at a 9-to-5 job working for someone else's future, not my own. And like I talked about on one of my shows, if you have a dream, go for it right now. You're young enough. Doesn't matter if you're 50 years old or not, you're young enough to chase your own dream. Make yourself happy with what makes you happy, if that makes sense. If you love welding, start your own welding business. If you love to landscape and garden, start that. Now, if you can do it from your own home, such as do your own fabrications or do your own gardening and sell off the excess of your plants and stuff like that you bring up from seed, that's cool. I'm an illustrator and I'm a homesteader. That means I've got chickens, ducks, geese, pigs, a koi pond out in the backyard, plus a garden. So, and it's just getting watered. And yesterday, I did a whole lot of heavy lifting. I was fucking tired by noon. because what I did was took 6 80-pound bags of concrete, moved them to where I needed to move them, moved all of my cedar posts to my old fencing that's out here that really needs replaced because it's been here longer than I've been in this house. And what they did was the cedar first cuts. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's whenever they cut cedar logs, they take a section of the log and chop it off to make it smooth. They flip it over and then they start making their smooth cuts to turn it into logs or boards, even if it is, uneven boards. But sometimes they'll just cut them into, cedar logs or cedar boards as that. So they do this what's called a first cut, and they do it on both sides. Once they flip it over to this flat square side, then you got your next cut, which is the first cut on that side, but then it's all smooth sailing after that. They can just keep moving their blade down. Well, that's what my fence is made up of completely. Cedar first cuts all the way around, all the way to the back. And I have since switched out a portion of that fence, and now I'm shoring it all up with my cedar post. Cedar lasts longer than most of your regular posts, unless it's a treated post that you buy at the store, just because bugs do not like to eat into cedar for the most part. Now, if you leave it laying on the ground where it gets moisture and it starts eating away, yes, you will get bugs into it. But it's a harder wood and all that good stuff. So I've set 14 posts yesterday. Well, I set 12 posts yesterday because I ran into a problem of where I needed to put some posts with the post hole digger that I borrowed from, not a post hole digger, but a auger that I borrowed from my girlfriend's dad. I ran into some tree roots and I couldn't get through them. So I have to rethink where I'm putting these posts. And it's on a relatively shitty section of fence because it's leaning back or leaning forward depending on the area that it's in. And that's why I'm trying to get these posts in the ground. And I did get them in the ground, and they were soaking in the ground moisture. And now the rain is just setting them in place because it's supposed to rain till 11 a.m. today. And that's just a lot of water that I didn't have to put on the concrete as I'm letting it set. So, like I said, it was already drawing moisture out of the ground into the concrete. So it was already starting to set yesterday before I did anything. And then by, what was it, 8:30, 9 o'clock last night, it already started the thunderstorm. It didn't start raining until a little bit later than that. But so it's been raining on it since probably about 10:30 last night. And here it is 4 o'clock in the morning. So if it was 10:30, it's been raining on it for 6 hours already. And so that's a lot of water, which is great for what I'm doing out there. And it's just setting it in place. So I'm happy that I didn't have to spend my own water, which is I'm paying for water until I get a well drilled or dig it myself, one way or the other. You want to be as self-sufficient as possible. And that's where I've got this huge panel back here. It's a solar panel that's going to be hooked up for the chicken coop back there. And it's going to run my lights and fans and things like that for them out there, especially during the summertime. During the wintertime, it'll be for venting out the place because during the wintertime, they will come out, but on the same token, they still need some heat in there. So that's why we're going to have fold down, basically window spots that is nothing but hardware cloth. If you don't know what that is, it's like little bitty half-inch squares or quarter-inch squares of metal all hooked together. And so that is that. But in the meantime, with all of that, I also do cool stuff. Not saying homesteading isn't cool. It's just a lot of work. Absolutely. Don't you do it. Do it. All right. So this is the number 2 piece to the horror series. That's some Freddy Krueger for you right there. Some Freddy, he's in your nightmares. You saw Jason, which was number 3 in the series. You saw Ghostface, Jason, and here's Pumpkinhead, who's number 4. First time drawing Pumpkinhead. Again, they've all got this blood swoop going around this, so it's going to look cool on a t-shirt as well. And then you got Candyman, who's going to have the blood swoop and honeybees. This is the Tony Todd version right there. But coming out of his mouth is going to be the blood and the bees, since that was one of the ways that they tortured him, was using honeybees. Right here, you got the Batman Who Laughs. Heavy pencils. Getting ready to be the inking side of it all. Right there. And then you've got the Harley Who Laughs, 2 different versions, because they've got, and I didn't know this character existed until just this year. And she came out in 2022. And they've already got 2 different masks for her, which is this mask, which I haven't got solidified in yet. It is like daggers coming down on this face mask. It's like a metal frame, and then it's got these daggers that come down around where she can see out. And yes, she does have a forked tongue. And then she's got all these blades coming up off of the top of the mask as well. Plus, this one, all of her spikes are hooked to these. This is like leather coming down, and then it's got spiked balls on the end. And then on her outfit, she's got spikes as well as studs and things like that on this one. Now, the other version that they've got of her, they've got this right here, where the spikes are actually coming out of her skin. And then she's got a different mask going on. Let me get the right way. Got a different mask going on right here that has the big diamonds that she has on her outfit because it's from the playing card, since she is Joker's girlfriend. Or was at the time, I don't know, because Punchline kind of took over that as well. All right, so before we get into that little bane of my existence, so you've got me as Wolverine. Yes, that is my face. This is my pose, actually, as well. But this is me as Wolverine from the #1 cover of Wolverine #1. If you know, you know. And I'm going to be coloring this in with the same colors from that book. And let me see if I can find that real fast, because I've got it laying here somewhere. I know I do. I know I do. There it is. So these are going to be the colors of what's happening here. Boom, boom, boom. Same shirt, same pants, all that goody good stuff. Different pose than what's on the cover, because I posed for this one. And it's going to be these colors for that piece. So that's going to be fun when I get it colored in. Yes, yes. All right, so again, before I get into that bane of my existence, this is my rendition of the knot from the Calamities Sour Worlds book. Yes, it has a Cthulhu or Cthulhu, or however you want to say it, H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu. I don't even know how to pronounce it. But it also has a man thing or a swamp thing type of a vibe as well. But it is a tree creature that is in his series of books. Right there. So I was actually working on the pencils while we were at the a book signing for Calamities right there. And this is Harrow from his book as well. And right here, it's got the razor wire that he has part of with his metal wings. He's got razor wire in there shooting out towards you. Right there. And now this little bane of my existence right now. This is a commission 4 months in the making now, as of the 2nd. So 2 days ago became the 4th month for this piece. I finally just hit the guy up again. He did a commission on February 2nd. I went ahead and started it because of the circumstances. Excuse me. This was for a friend of both of ours. He worked with her, and I was a friend of hers, who passed away on December, like December 31st, the very last day of December. She just didn't wake up, had heart conditions and things like that. I've had 2 heart attacks, so I know that I could not wake up one of these days. So I went ahead and started the work. Sent him updates as I was moving along. And then I was like, hey, when are we going to make payment? When's payments coming in? So I've stopped working on this piece. And it is almost complete. It's very close to complete. I just have a couple more things to do to it, but I'm not working on it again until I get payment. And he keeps giving me the runaround. And so finally I hit him up probably the beginning of April. Is that right? Yeah, we're in April. And I was like, dude, look, it's been 3 months without a payment. When am I going to get the first payment in on this piece? And so then he started asking me what the size was, how was it this price that we because I gave him a big discount because it is a friend of mine, and not him, but she is. And you know, I was being nice. Well, niceness is worn off. So every time I send a new text message to this guy, it's not very nice. And so he finally sent me a message back, and he was like, hey, I'm trying to see if the team will chip in to get it done. Dude, you're the manager. You've given me nothing but runaround. You make more than your associates that are under you at this place. It is Max on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, Arkansas. That used to be Aaron Rentals, but they changed names. The very next message, or the second message that he gave me after I asked when we were going to make a payment, his excuse was, oh, we got bought out by this other company, and it's going to be a minute before payroll switches over. Dude, you've been this company since like the end of 2025. I can't remember if it was November or December. So you telling me 3 months in that you just got bought by this other company is a bunch of bullshit, is what it is. You commission this piece, pay for your damn piece. It's that simple. I usually don't even get started on a piece until I get half payment in, because I do layaway. If you can't pay for all of the piece, well, and you commission me, well, you can start paying it out. And once I get half payment of whatever the total bill is, the total invoice, let's go a little bit nicer term, then I start the work. Well, since I knew this one, I knew where this guy works, and I could make his life a living hell if I wanted to, because I could go put handmade posters up on the wall of their while they're not open, and be like, this guy is a sham. This guy is a piece of work. You know, I could do all kinds of stuff like that if I really wanted to. Am I that petty? Not yet. But get your shit together. If you're going to come at me for a commission, and I should not have even started this until I got half payment down, and that's on me, and I'm going to show you this piece, And it's a cool piece, and if he doesn't end up buying it, I know other people probably will. But that's the thing. If you're going to come at an artist to commission a piece, have the money ready, or if they are cool with a layaway program like I am, I will not get started on the piece until half of the money is in, which is non-refundable. If you cancel on me for whatever reason, you just lost your money because I'm not refunding it because I've already started your piece. So, but here's the piece in question. This is for Crystal, and she was a pretty cool person, pretty awesome. And this is, she liked Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, and she also liked, she was not liked, but she was also a Wiccan, okay? Which means that she did all the natural stuff when it came to witchcraft, if you will. Talking about witchcraft on Easter weekend? Oh my gosh. But aren't we going to be talking about zombie Jesus here in a few days? Anyway, right here is the piece in question that they haven't paid for yet. This is my Stitch Witch, and I've still got some more elements to do to it, but other than that, it is almost complete. Cute little piece, cute little Stitch Witch right there. And I'm looking forward to getting this out of my fucking hands, to be honest, because it has now become the bane of my existence. I think the house picks up on it. I live in a haunted house, for those of you that don't know, that don't follow me on a regular basis. I do live in a haunted house. I took my cat balls off of my stuff behind me. And if you don't know what a cat ball is, if you've never seen a paranormal show or whatever, whenever this moves, this is what happens. It goes off. And so you can see it all over the place. I used to have it on Maribel up there. You can see the pink hat kind of right there. I used to have it on Diego, which was those gold shoes right there. I had it on top of the zombie dice right there. As you see, it just went off. I had it on top of the zombie dice right there. Plus, there's a Dybbuk box down here by Maribel. Well, I had one on each of those pieces except for the Dybbuk box. Maribel had one, Diego had one, and the zombie dice had one. There was a day prior to the show, Maribel's was going off like crazy. As soon as I started the live show, she didn't do squat. As you see, this isn't moving, or this isn't going off. But once I move it, it goes off. Okay? That's what the cat balls do. You set them around all over different places, and then you debunk. Because like I had this sitting on my desk one day, and it rolled across my desk. Well, did I hit it? Well, if I did, it would have fallen off the desk. But this went in a direct line and landed and stopped directly on my American flag. I was in the military, that I have on my desk. And it stopped right on top of it. I was like, okay, I'm going to leave you there, see what happens. I'm going to turn this off now. And strange things like that happens here all the time. We get poltergeist activity. We get, disembodied voices. We get orbs on a regular basis, things of that nature. And if you don't believe in that type of stuff, I get it 100%. Everybody's a skeptic when it comes to paranormal stuff because there's way too many fakes out there on a regular basis that, and even a couple of highly touted paranormal investigators came out as faking several of their stuff just for the entertainment value. Well, I don't have to. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I've got stuff. You can go to my page and you can see the stuff that has happened here. Especially the cool disembodied voice that happened whenever I set up my camcorder that I just got for ghost hunting. And like 1 minute and some odd seconds in to me leaving the room, and you could hear the muted TV going on as well. But then right up to the mic, you could hear, "Hey, come back, come back." And it's plain as day, with orbs going off, in the background and all that stuff. I still haven't analyzed the entire footage from that day, but that was pretty cool, to say the least. So, but you always want to debunk things whenever you are in the paranormal side of things as well. That's why you put your cat balls down and then you start walking the floor. Well, if any vibrations from a loose board or a warp board or whatever sets off your cat ball, well, then you know that, hey, there's going to be the potential of contamination of me setting that off whenever I walk through this area. So that's why you want to always debunk different things. It's just like whenever you are using your electromagnetic device, you want to make sure that most of your power is off or there's no power to certain areas of the room, because that can spike your devices up, different levels. So, but again, here at this house, we've had disembodied voices. I see shadow figures on a regular basis. We get orbs on a regular basis. I've seen full body apparitions here. Again, poltergeist activity. I mean, hell, the first 2 nights that I lived here, it sounded like somebody was trying to kick in my front door and the side door right here, which meant I got up with my water pistol in hand. We use that for TikTok purposes as well. And going inside, flipping on every light, going outside the entire house, looking up and down the street, going around the house, checking the yard, all that good stuff, absolutely nothing. And then realizing, hey, this is just a poltergeist trying to get my attention, trying to spook me and scare me to get energy. Well, it didn't work for it. So we live in harmony. It does its thing. I do my thing. Well, we do our thing, the girlfriend and myself. Because she was going in there to rest and take a nap. And we collect rocks and crystals and things like that. And these were some that I'd collected probably from my parents' house, if I had to guess. And I'd set them on a TV tray that had a fan, an old fan on it, an old vintage fan. And they vibrate, but these rocks hadn't moved. Well, she heard one of the rocks hit the floor, and she thought it had just vibrated off the table. Well, where this was sitting was far right of the room to where you enter the room at the door, obviously. And this rock from the table, the TV tray, got thrown over by the door. So it didn't just fall and bounce. It got thrown off the table. And she's been touched in the bedroom and things like that. Not by me, although she has been. This was when the bed was up against the wall. She felt a hand grab her thigh and freaked her out big time. But people get weird reactions and feelings in different spots of the house as well. But that's just what we do here. We talk about horror movies, sci-fi movies, the paranormal. We talk about comic books, comic book artwork, my comic books, my comic book artwork, and things of that nature. And I usually get a restriction from TikTok and their AI algorithm because I talk about my artwork, and just like I did 7 minutes in, got a restriction because they thought I was redirecting, which I was not. I hadn't even said to do anything, because there are some times that I use keywords that I'm not going to say right now that does lead AI to believe something else that not what I'm saying. So there is that. So I'm just looking because there's a lot of stuff that I clean my office on a regular basis, and it just gets cluttered back up on a regular basis. It's kind of shitty. I was gonna say sucky, but shitty's a better word. So, and I try to keep it as clean as possible on a regular basis, but it doesn't always work. So, oh, you going to bed now that the thunderstorm has kind of subsided a little bit. You gonna get you some sleepy sleep. Oh, go get you that beauty sleep. You want that bull bottle? That bull milk bottle? Well, you have a good night, sir. Now that you're going to sleep most of the day away. Probably wake up around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and the day is already gone at that point in time. I will be up the rest of the day. Got to get ready for Timari. You know, tomorrow being, what is tomorrow? Is tomorrow Sunday? Is today Saturday? I don't even know what day it is. Is today Saturday? Hell, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think tomorrow is Sunday. Yes. Okay. No, not gone until you're done. Gone, buddy. Oh, you're gonna stick it out, but you just told everybody to have a great weekend, which usually means I'm going off. No, I get what you. Yeah, it is Saturday the 4th, so tomorrow is Sunday the 5th, and we all know what that means. It's Easter time, because if you follow any cosplayers, they are all dressed as bunnies right now, and not the Playboy kind. They're dressed as Easter bunnies. Well, some of them are dressed as Playboy bunnies, but that is cosplayer esque. That, hey, Easter's coming up, all that good stuff, and then they try to follow the trends of all of the different holidays. Valentine's Day, Christmas, Easter, uh, Mardi Gras, as well as St. Patrick's Day, and anything else in between that they feel like they want to dress up for. They all have a niche when it comes to that. Just like Ozzy has a niche. I don't do that very well. So, if you came on just for that moment, you probably cringed right there. But here's the thing. Easter's tomorrow. Easter's tomorrow. I'm not going into more depth and detail than that, because depending on your religious background, be it you believe, you don't believe, you're atheist, you're not atheist, you're Christian, you're Jewish, you're whatever. We don't do religion here. We don't do politics here either. But tomorrow's Easter, and you take it for what it is. Whichever side of the fence you're on, you're going to hunt Easter eggs, whatever. Or you don't believe in hunting Easter eggs and you just do your religious duty, go to church and do the whole Easter sunrise service, which today would kind of suck for that here, since we're under thunderstorm warning right now. To each their own, whichever one it is. And I can speak on both sides of the fence. I was a pastor for a year, all that good stuff. We'll see in a couple minutes if I pull the tape off. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, oh, oh. But we might just pull that tape off. We might just rip the Band-Aid off and just go for it. But no, I wish TikTok didn't have such double standards, because I've seen worse than what's on my shirt happen here on TikTok. And if you don't know that video, go watch it. It's on my page, right down there, so you can go check it out. But I do hope you guys have a safe day today. Those of you that are out and about or have to get out and about on a Saturday. Those of you that don't work the weekend, kudos, awesome to you. All that good stuff. And in 15 seconds, we'll see. All right, everybody. As I like to say, as I leave you guys, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.